So we're going to go through because I have it up myself and Julian's not in his proper spot. If you want, you can have the last five. If not, we can just go through this.
Do you want me? I can pull up the last.
It's up to you. It's up to you. But regardless, I still want to get through this pretty quickly. So while you're doing that, I will talk about the lines for this first game. So first, we have Atlanta United hosting Montreal. They are the favorites, minus 175, with the tie being a plus 310. And big underdog Montreal is at a plus 420. Personally, I mean, I know Atlanta's they're the team to beat Miami. I don't see Montreal winning this game. I think Atlanta are much better at this end of the season than they were at the beginning of the season. So I would pick Atlanta for this one. What about you?
Yeah, I think Atlanta, especially at home, I think they're definitely going. They're just Atlanta had a sneaky good summer transfer window that has really worked out super well for them. And obviously, I mean, they took on likes Miami for 5-2. So obviously, that results in just a collapse. But Atlanta's good, man. I think they're going to be really good down the stretch. So their last 5 games was a win, loss, draw, win, draw. And then for Montreal, it was a win, loss, draw.
All right.
So I'm going Atlanta here.
Same. All right, let's move on. Next, we got DC United will be hosting the New York Red Bulls. This is an interesting one for betting lines. DC United plus 120 for home. The draw plus 230 and New York are plus 210 as the away team. Give us the last 5 for this one. This is a tougher one. These are both teams that I think are very mediocre.
Yeah, so DC United, they've lost, won, draw, and then New York Red Bulls have lost, draw. So only one win in between the two teams in the last 5 games. For me personally, I think this is going to end up in a 1-1 or 0-0 draw. Like you said, these are two teams that aren't good. DC is out their starting goalkeeper, which he wasn't very good in the first place. Yeah, man, both teams really struggling. Like I said, this is why I think Miami can hop these temes. But
exactly.
I can see a draw happening here.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. As soon as you said those last 5, it just screamed draw. None of these teams, they're both mediocre. It's hard just to pick a favorite. Obviously, it could swing a goal either way, but I think, we both have this draw. Next up, Philadelphia. Ooh, this is going to be a pretty good game. Philadelphia Union hosting LAFC. Philadelphia Union.
MLS Cup rematch and
MLS
CONCACAF semifinal rematch.
Yeah, exactly. So we got Philadelphia Union, the favorites, at a plus 115. The draw is a plus 250, and LAFC, the away team, plus 200. Whew. I mean, this is a tough one. LAFC haven't been playing that amazing. They really don't look like the favorites to defend MLS Cup this season. They were much better early in the season. I think that Philadelphia is going to win this game.
Yeah, I think Philadelphia is going to win this too. LAFC has had the edge over Philly since MLS Cup and then going back to Champions League semifinal. Even when LA played at Philly, it only resulted into a draw. And then when they went back home to LA, they just thrashed them. But Philly is very good at home. I'm going to go Philly here. They win by 1 goal. But it's going to be a pretty good game nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be a little bit more in the upswing. I think they're starting to play a little bit better after they're down. But LA's always had Philly's number, but I think it's finally Philly's turn to actually take them over.
All right, so this game is probably – I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be the easiest game to predict of the match day. New York City FC hosting Toronto FC. Like we said earlier, Toronto, if Colorado was not in the league, they would be taking home that wooden spoon later this year. But luckily they are not. they're not the worst, so at least they have that going for them. But minus 240 New York City FC, the favorites at home, the draw being a plus 350, and Toronto being a huge underdog to win at plus 550. New York City all day.
I'm with you. Playing in that baseball field gives them such a huge advantage, and Toronto is just getting worse and worse.
Yep. Exactly. So that's an easy one. We're going to move on to FC Cincinnati hosting Charlotte FC. We got Cincinnati at home. They're the minus 160 favorites. Draw is plus 300, and Charlotte is plus 380. I'm gonna go Cincinnati here. This definitely, I think this is a bit closer than the odds say they are.
Really,
but a little bit. I don't think Cincinnati have been playing that amazing lately.
Look,
they've been inconsistent.
Cincinnati's,
but they're gonna win this game.
They're winning the Supporter Shield. They've been the best. Ooh, line just moved a little bit to minus 165 as we're talking, but towards Cincinnati. But yeah, I mean, this is Cincinnati when Charlotte looks terrible. I feel like they have no playmakers on that team. Give me Cincinnati.
Yeah, I still think Cincy's gonna win. I just think it's good. It's good parlay. Good parlay. I think minus 165. I don't know where I'm going with this. I think it's just best just to move on, pick Cincy because they're going to win. So let's move on to the next one. It's kind of a shitty game. Chicago Fire hosting New England, plus 120 for home team Chicago, plus 260 for the draw, plus 190 for the away team New England. Oh man, I'm gonna pick draw on this one.
I go New England win.
All right.
Oh, man, because they got that whole Bruce Arena saga thing going on.
That is an interesting one. That does make it interesting.
I'm still gonna go New England. Chicago's terrible. I think I saw a stat. Chicago's only scored 1 goal in 4 games, and New England is at the top of the East. So I'm gonna go New England here.
All right. Now we got FC Dallas hosting the Columbus Crew. FC Dallas at home plus 155. The draw plus 250. Columbus Crew, the away favorites, plus 150. And I agree with the bookmakers on this one. This could definitely be a good game. Dallas, they have some good home support. But Columbus, they're a good team. They're a good team. And I can see why Vegas has them as the favorites in this one. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I'm going with Columbus here. Columbus. I had Columbus as my dark horse MLS Cup winners. I like Columbus a lot. I like what they're doing. They're a really strong team.
All right. Next up, we got Sporting Kansas City hosting Houston Dynamo. Sporting Kansas City is a plus 100 at home, plus 240 for the draw, and the Dynamo plus 250 as the away team. Sporting Kansas City is, these teams are not amazing, both of them, but Sporting Kansas City, I think, is clearly the better team.
Really? So I'm actually going to go the opposite. I'm going to go Houston Dynamo here at home, on the road. So both teams on the rise right now since they got full strength, especially Kansas City since they got Alan Pulido. They went back to full strength. Both teams are playing a lot better. Houston has climbed, surprisingly, all the way to 4th place in the West. And
I think the West has been, I don't know, it's been very
but nonetheless, they're only 2 points away from 2nd place, 7 points behind St. Louis in the first. And then Sporting KC, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They are 3 points behind Dallas in that 9th spot. So, but I'm gonna go Houston here. I like Houston. I think I like the odds at that plus 250.
All right. So moving on, I think this is gonna be a pretty interesting game. I always think Minnesota is an interesting team to watch, and St. Louis have definitely been interesting to watch, even though they've slowed down this season. Minnesota will host. They are the favorites at minus 120. The draw is plus 280, and St. Louis away is also plus 280. I
So
like
I'll give the last
Reynoso.
five. I'll give the last 5 games to put in perspective. So St.
Yeah,
Louis
go
has
for it.
1 loss, draw, 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 and then Minnesota has 1 draw, draw, loss, loss.
All right. So I like Reynoso. I like what I don't, they're not the best team by any stretch, but I do like how they're set up and how they play. St. Louis, they just haven't been able to capture that early season form, which was to be expected. They are a new team. They've still been doing outstanding. So I'm going to pick Minnesota.
Yeah, so surprisingly enough, St. Louis has 10 They're 15-5-10. They basically getting no draws. They either win or lose. But yeah, I like Minnesota at home. Like I do like their team. Obviously they are a more talented team, but St. Louis seems to be playing better as a team. But I like Minnesota at home. I'm gonna go Minnesota, especially with them
All
fighting
right.
for a playoff spot.
The next we got Real Salt Lake hosting Vancouver Whitecaps. Real Salt Lake is the favorite, plus 105. The draw being a plus 260, and Vancouver being a plus 220. This game for me it could go either way, but I think Real Salt Lake have been in better form lately. So I would pick Real Salt Lake.
So Real Salt Lake, when they brought in Chicho Arango, they went on a little bit of a run. It seems to be that they just slowed down, but
Yeah, they slowed down a little bit.
Don't sleep on Vancouver. Vancouver has actually been on a really good run. Vancouver has won, a draw, 1, and then 1 loss, and then Real Salt Lake has lost, win, lost. So I like Vancouver. I think Vancouver's a sneaky good team that no one's talking about because it's in that far corner, but. I like Vancouver here. I'm actually going to go Vancouver on the road, get a victory.
All right. Next up, we got Portland Timbers hosting the worst team in the league. Well, this is the second easiest game to predict this week, in my opinion. Portland are a favorite at minus 195. The draw being a plus 320, and Colorado Rapids being a heavy dog at plus 490. Portland all day.
Not even just the fact that they're playing Colorado, but Portland's been on a run right now. So every time I look over, I see Portland winning. Evander's been playing really well for them, which he was a big deal signee coming into this season. But I mean, Portland has 1 draw, 1. So they've brought themselves back into the playoff race with these last 5 games. Colorado, meanwhile, they're not even touching it. They have a minus 23 goal differential. They've lost, 1 lost.
All right. So we are in agreement for that one. Now to
San Jose.
Why does it say Saturday at 10:30 p.m.?
Because ask San Jose.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm getting confused because of this. I was
Sunday.
thinking there's no way an East Coast game is fucking. I was like, no chance. I hate FanDuel when they do this. I wish they just put it on the top.
It's the next day.
Yeah. All right, so San Jose Earthquakes are hosting Nashville. San Jose is a plus 125. The draw is plus 230, and Nashville away plus 200. I like Nashville. I like these odds. I think plus 200 for Nashville away. I think I would go for that.
Man, I think the travel and the time difference is really going to hurt them. San Jose is not a bad team. I think I'm going to go San Jose here. I think San Jose can pull out a victory at home, and I think that time change that late at night is going to make a difference.
All right. Next up, the Sun Pacifico.
Or Clásico del Sol, whatever you want to call it. No official name yet.
One.
Soon. Florida Derby, whatever.
Yeah. Orlando are hosting Inter Miami without Messi. Orlando City are a minus 125. They are the favorite. A draw is plus 270. And Inter Miami are a plus 300. I just can't. I hate Orlando too much. Even though I think draw would probably be a safer bet, I'm going Inter Miami.
Oh, plus 300. If you want to make some money, follow Adam. Look, we talked about Miami in the beginning. I mean, obviously, it's the team we talk about the most.
Yep.
I like I said, I like the team even without Messi. I think it's still a strong, competitive MLS quality team. You're playing at Orlando. You're playing a hostile environment. It's a derby match. But I like the draw here. I think it's a very, very important game for us. I think it's a must. It is a must win. You have to not a must win, but you have to come out with points.
Yeah.
You can afford to lose the game, but you don't want to lose this game, especially for bragging rights. Like you just don't want to lose. So I go draw here. I think there's enough quality to get it done. I see 2-2 almost. That's speaking.
Yeah, something like that would be good. All right. And the last game of the week is going to be Austin FC hosting LA Galaxy. Austin FC are a minus 110 favorite. The draw being a plus 270. LA Galaxy away being a plus 260. I'm going to let you go first on this one because I'm actually not sure. I need to think about this one for a minute.
Both bottom dwellers of the Western Conference, but both seem to be getting a little bit better. So here, I'll give you the last 5 games of both teams for reference. Austin FC has lost, draw. LA has won, draw, lost, won. And they're playing at Austin. Austin's an awesome home field environment, but they haven't been able to really win at home. So I'm going to go LA here. I'm going to go LA with the win. I think Austin loses this game.
I'm going to agree with you. It's a tough one, especially, if Austin's going to win it, it would be at home. But I definitely agree with you there. I'm going to say LA.
It really turns out that Austin probably wasn't as good as they were last year. Maybe they just caught.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if we see St. Louis suffer from the same fate that Austin is suffering from this year. I mean, for the most part, Austin ran back the same team, and it's not working. They just need more help on that team. They need a true striker above Jerussi. They need better wingers. That team just needs a large overhaul, and I can see the manager Josh Wolf Owen Wolf end up getting bounced at the end of the season. I can almost see that. But yeah, so that's our picks of the week.